Hey everyone, welcome to Amberg Acres. So we are going to get started here on putting this stone I got right back over here. We're going to get going on that and get this area, this side of the barn filled up with stone. And I'd like to give you a couple of updates too. Before I get going on the stone, I'm going to pick up as many chestnuts as I can here. The chestnuts are falling like, chestnuts. Keep calling them chestnuts. The acorns are falling like crazy right now. So I'm picking them up and I'm planting them across the street in an area that I worked up with the plow, and I put some grooves in there, and then I'm throwing them down and just kind of raking them over to get a little bit of dirt covered up. So it's my understanding that the acorn is just like the chestnut, where it needs to be cold stratified, and then come spring it grows a taproot and then it starts growing a tree. So one of the things I ran across on the internet is that there's a way to check your acorns. Instead of taking all these acorns and planting them and then nothing grows, there's a way to find out if the acorn is any good or not, okay? And that's by dropping it in a bucket of water. And if it sinks, then it's supposed to be good. If it floats, it's supposed to be bad. It's already dried out or cracked or something, and it's not going to grow at that point anymore. So I'm going to show you that in a little bit here. First I got to go and collect some of these acorns. I'm using my my rock scooper that we use up on Lake Superior when we go up rock hunting. And I'm just going to walk around. And I did this test the other day. I had 2 5-gallon buckets full that I just raked up with a rake. So they had all kinds of leaves and sticks and everything in it. And I dumped them in the water, the bucket of water. You know, of course the leaves and the sticks and all that stuff floated. So I got that all out of there. And then I had a whole bunch of acorns that floated. So the ones that sunk appear to be the ones that are just dropping right now, that are still like lightly green and haven't really dried out yet. So I'm going to pick a few of them up and we're going to do a test, another test for you guys just to show you. So I want to try and show you the difference here. So these here are older chestnut, or gods, I keep calling them chestnuts, they're acorns. These here are older acorns that are already been laying on the ground for quite a while. They're kind of dried out. You can almost feel the difference in weight that these probably will not sink. And then these are the fresh ones. And you can definitely tell a difference in color. And these are freshly fallen. They just fell off the tree, and usually when they hit the ground the cap comes off, but sometimes they're still got the cap on. And these are the ones that are going to sink to the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go get a bucket of water and I'm going to show you the difference. Hopefully I got this set up so that you can see inside that bucket. So I have about 20 some chestnuts in there probably. We're gonna just dump them in the water. And as you can see, pretty much the ones I showed you before, the browner looking ones, are all floating on top. And like I said before, you can almost feel the difference in the weight of these, that they are dried out compared to the green ones. And the word I was looking for before that I couldn't come up with was viable. The ones that sink are considered viable, that they will grow a tree, where these here are not worth putting in the ground, is what I've been told. So we're gonna go through this process on a bunch of chestnuts here that I've been picking up off the ground. Then we're gonna fill this area in with rock. And I'm gonna take it across the street this afternoon, and I'm gonna show you what that looks like over there where I'm planting these. So when you look in that bucket, there's maybe one here. This one here is a little dark brown and cracked, but it still says it's viable because you can tell it's a fresher acorn. But I think I'm going to throw that one out because of the crack in it. But those are all fresh acorns. You can tell the difference. All right, I should have enough chestnuts to finish what I'm doing over there. Chestnuts, there I go again. Acorns. I should have enough acorns to finish what I'm doing over there. So the goal here last year was to make sure this plastic worked enough that it kept the erosion from the rain coming off the roofs, that it kept the erosion down, that it wasn't just washing my sand away. And it worked fine, so it lasted all winter. So now we're gonna put this stone on top, and that's gonna be added protection so that when the rain comes, it's gonna hit the stone, not the sand, and it's not gonna wash the sand away. And we have to do the other side too, but I'll take you over there in a minute and show you what I gotta do over there yet. So let's get some stone down here and finish this side up, at least up to my box over here. So I'm gonna go with that for right now. I gotta go put my forks back on and move that drying box so I can come in here, straight in here, and try and smooth this out a little bit. But before that, let me take you around and show you the other side, and then I want to show you something that we did last week when Pablo stopped in. So over here on this side, I had laid down slabs, some of them pine slabs that I was cutting up on a sawmill. And that was to keep that rain from hitting right in the sand and washing this all away. And it really helped. I got to bring in a little bit of sand here and fill this in and level this all back out a little bit here on this side. So you can see the gaps under in some of the areas there. I got to build that up just a little bit back up. And then we're going to put down some plastic and put the stone on this side also. So that's what this side looks like. You can see, look at the mud all over the siding here from that rain hitting into that sand and just splashing it back up. Eventually this side will have the lean-to on it. Don't know when I'm going to get to that, but it's ready to be put on anytime. So the stone is going to come. We'll put some stone in here yet, and I don't know about the driveway area, but it'll look like it does over there. Okay, so that stone will go all the way around the building. And I threw some seed down there last fall, and I haven't mowed it. Just letting it grow. So there will be some grass here, and maybe this doesn't get used much here, so maybe this will all be grass too at some point. I cleaned up over there by the telephone pole because we've been having issues not able to see down the road once this stuff starts growing in here. So I cleaned that all up, sprayed it and cleaned it all up, and I'll probably throw some grass seed down there, and we'll just keep it mowed from now on. So Pablo came up camping last week, and I talked him into doing the top of the door here of Barb's craft room. This is the old siding or some type of wood that came out of the old farmhouse that we took down a couple of years ago. And I've had this up on the hill here under tarps, and we dug some pieces out that we thought would look nice. And he put this all together last week, and I really appreciate what he does. He did a really nice job on that. So now the rest of this wall here, this whole wall will be the cedar siding look, you know, the basically lap siding, and right up to the bottom of that board right there. And then we'll be hanging some of our stuff, our antiques and whatever on there, all stuff from the old farm, from the old farmhouse that we've collected over the years. That's how that's going to look when it's done. So we went camping over at Morgan Park with him, and we took a hike up on it's called the High View Trail or something like that. It goes up on a bluff and then goes around over on I believe it would be the north side of the lake and stuff, and some really good views up there. It would look really good once the leaves start changing, so we might go back once the leaves get a little bit more color to them and take some more pictures. But I'll put a couple pictures in here in the video here just so you can see what we were seeing and what it looked like over there. So we were there, I don't know, 3 days, 4 days, something like that. So we took a day or two and came over here and did this, and we worked a little bit on the lean-to up there over the sawmill, trying to fix that sag in the roof. Yeah, we got some of it fixed, but it's still sagging. It's still not working the way I wanted it to. So I'll let you know when I figure out a solution for that and make that work. I will let you know on that one. So why don't we go across the street? I'm going to show you what I'm doing with these acorns. So this is the area where I'm throwing down the acorns. To give you a visual where this is, the food plot's over this way, and if I would walk straight through the woods down here would be that watering hole that I dug for the drainage area there. So all I'm trying to do here is to see if I can get these to grow and make some browse. We don't have a lot of browse areas around here on this property. So this is one thing I've seen the guys doing, is throwing down seeds and getting, you know, little trees to start growing. And if this works, I will continue it into the rest of this area here and just make it bigger each year or every other year or whatever. That is the plan here, okay? So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It'll just turn back into grass or whatever's growing out here, you know. But for this year, this is what I wanted to try. I wanted to try these acorns. So basically what I do is I came over here with my plow, and I just made grooves. So I got a bunch of grooves there. So as I throw down the acorns, they'll kind of fall in the groove, and then we'll just rake it over. We rake the dirt over the top. I did a couple of the outside rows here the other day, and now I'm just going to fill in the middle. Alright guys, it's that simple. Hopefully in spring when they grow, if I come over here and there's a true nice perfect tree growing, I can dig them up and I can move them other places also, you know. They don't have to just be for the deer to eat. That's my plan, is to get some established. I don't have a lot of red oaks over here, except for the ones, well, those are white oaks that I planted. There's one right behind you here that's, boy, I bet you that's 20 feet tall now. Let me swing you around so you can see that. So this white oak right here, this is a hybrid. I planted that, well, probably over 10 years ago already. And it is looking like it's a good 20 feet tall. So hopefully some of these hybrids, they were supposed to start seeding at 7 years already. And I have not seen any seeds on any of them. They say you need more than one, which I have plenty. I have one here, I have one right over here in the woods. I have the whole field is full of them. So I don't know, you know, I don't know what it takes to get the acorns to grow. It's been, I'll say it's been over 10 years since I planted those. That's one of the originals right there, along with the one out in front there, and there's a couple other of the originals around here that are about that same size. You know, every year I try a little different project to make myself happy, and that I'm actually trying to make the land better and get some trees growing around here. So the acorns, they do not need to necessarily be covered with the dirt. You could just, if you had a nice soft bed of dirt somewhere, you could just throw your acorns on top and push them in with something like your four-wheeler, or drive over them with the tractor and just get them to push down into the dirt. That would be enough for that acorn to grow. The problem with doing it that way is that the squirrels are probably going to eat them faster than you put them down. Okay, so if you cover them with dirt a little bit, they got to work for them. So I mean, obviously I've missed some. There's a bunch of them laying on top here and stuff, so the squirrels can have them. They'll eat them, you know, and maybe that'll keep them away from getting at the other ones that are just slightly under the dirt. All right, so I'm gonna go over this with the four-wheeler, and I'm gonna pack this in, and that's gonna be it. And we'll let you know next year what they look like, what this little area looks like here. Hopefully I have a bunch of little red oaks growing. I'm always amazed at how nature is so resilient and can replenish itself without little to no help. And it just amazes me how this stuff works and how it grows and how the animals survive and that type of stuff. And you have to think about it yourself. What would ever happen if your government was gone tomorrow and you had to fend for yourself? What would you be able to do it? Would you be able to grow your own food and make something out of nothing to just live, so that you would have at least your own little area of the world to live in? I don't know. I think there would be a lot of people that would really be shit out of luck. I hate to say that, but all right, let's get this work done. Well, I figured before I switch back over to the forks, I should get the sand over here too right away. So now I'll just rake it out and get the plastic done, and we'll keep going on it. All right, so there it is, all smoothed out again. So hopefully I got till, I think, Friday. It's Sunday right now. So I think I got till about Friday before it's supposed to rain again. So I should be able to get the plastic down and some stones in here. And I'll come out 10 feet and then we'll leave it like that until we get the lean-to up, I guess. That's all we can do. Let's get over there and try smoothing out the other side of the barn. got one more thing to do yet before I finish this off. And if anybody can tell me what that's for, put it in the comments. Hey guys, so I've been gone for the last 2 days, so I haven't gotten back to this, getting the plastic and the rocks down on here. But I wanted to show you how fast this will erode. So we raked this out 2 days ago. In the last 2 days we've had no rain, but we've had really heavy fog. And the fog condensates up there on the roof and then it runs off. And I went out hunting opening morning of bow season, and I saw a little mama bear and her cub, and then in the afternoon I saw a spiker buck right behind my stand, right behind the Pablo stand back there. But anyhow, it was really foggy those mornings too, and then that condensates on the leaves, and it almost felt like it was raining in the woods because there was so much condensation coming off the leaves. So that's what's happening here, and you can see how fast this erodes. So that's why we're putting the plastic down, and that's why we're putting those bigger rocks right here along the building, so that what drips off of there hits them rocks first and then disperses out into the stones. Okay, and that's the reason we're doing this. And I just wanted to show you this so you have an idea of what a heavy rain would do to the sand once it starts pouring. You know, it just washes it right away. I got a few spots here. Let me show you closer up. So right here was a big erosion spot right here when we had some heavy rains, and then you can see it here, right here, and then it cuts itself a channel under those bigger rocks. So that's why I'm throwing in the little rocks to kind of block that off. There's another one right here. There was one down here further. Right here was one. And then right here by this big rock that's all washed away under there. It just cuts itself a channel and just starts pouring through. And that's how much water is coming off that roof. So the rocks are going to help with that a little bit to disperse that rain, so it's not just pouring down and hammering the sand and washing it away. I have the same issue up here on the my driveway going up to the sawmill. That washes away every time it rains. We get a heavy rain. That's just a river flowing down there and washes all the sand down. And then I take the where the log splitter's sitting there, I take the box blade from right about there and I just drag it back up the hill and fill in all the grooves until the next big rain, you know. So we're gonna work on that. I don't know if I'm gonna get to it yet this fall, but we have some plans for that, with some French drains and some other stuff to get that water out of there so it's not washing it away every time. I got the plastic down and I got most of the rocks in. I'm a little bit short on the end there. I ran out of plastic. I know I got a couple more pieces laying around here. They're short, like half rolls. So I'll just piece something in down there on the end. But I'm done for the day. It's getting close to 5 o'clock. And so I'm gonna quit, and we got something going on tomorrow and the next day. So it probably won't be till like Friday before I get back to putting a stone down on here. But as long as I got these heavy rocks in here, that's fine. That'll hold this plastic in place and it won't go nowhere. And the rain will just run right off it. So I am pretty certain once we get the lean-to up then I will have to come in here and drop a little bit of a layer, another layer on top of here. I can see plastic showing through in a few spots. But right now I'm just getting it down so it holds the plastic in place. And that's all I'm going to do. So we're going to get this cleaned up, get this finished, and we'll be back in a little bit. Alright, I got this side smoothed out now. I just went over that hill. There's a hill right there. I went over that just a little bit because that's where it washes away. So well, let's go down there and look at it once. So once I get the lean-to up, the rocks are basically just to keep the pounding of the rain off the sand and the plastic. So once I get the lean-to up, those rocks could technically come out of there and then just rake the stones right up against the ground board or whatever it's called. So I just went up to the electrical box, filled this in here, came down the hill a little bit because that's where it washes away, and we'll see how that goes. And then the rest of this is probably going to end up grass, so I may have to do something here to make this look nicer at some point, but right now it's just there to keep it from washing away. All right, so the next step is going to be getting that pipe in on the other side and then just finishing off that side over there. So yeah, I got this all filled in, so I just got to fill in this little spot right here once I get that pipe put in. Probably be another day or two yet. So let's take a walk around here and show you what we did. So we filled this all in. So at some point, and this is way down the road in the future, there will be a lean-to, some posts here at 10 feet, okay, just beyond the plastic. So hopefully next year I can at least get some posts set in place, and then we can finish off the gravel, and I can start using it to set stuff back here. But the lean-to probably won't come for a while yet. It's going to be way down the road project. And this side over here, my intention was just for putting my implements and that type of stuff here on this side of the building. Out of sight, out of mind type thing, you know. So we put some smaller rocks here to make a border, and then the grass growing. All right, so once that's cleaned up, that'll look nice. And I may do something similar here, at least on this edge, but I don't know, because I drive through there, and that ain't gonna hold up well if you're driving over the rock. So I'm not really sure what I want to do there yet. So then this side's all done. Now these posts are going to be almost to the big rocks. They'll be at 12 feet out, so that we can get the camper in here in the summer and park it underneath this lean-to, and then I can have the shop to work inside the shop. So the posts will be right along here somewhere, at 12 feet away from the building, and hopefully we'll get that going next spring. So for right now, that's going to be about it for this project. I just wanted to get it cleaned up before winter and get the stone put down. I got to move some stuff here and put a little more in there. But this is all extra wood here that we cut when we were cutting on the sawmill. Some of it's 3/4, some of it's 1 inch. I got to sort through it and get it all put on the correct stack, so that I have a stack of 3/4 inch lumber, I have a stack of 1 inch lumber, and then I can just go grab that stack and bring it over here and do the project I'm working on. A lot of this, like this 3/4 stuff here on the bottom, that'll be used for covers for her greenhouse over there. Instead of moving those planters are really heavy once the dirt is in them. Instead of trying to move them every year and dump the dirt out and stuff, we're going to leave the dirt in and we're going to make some covers. And we're going to see how that works for this winter. And if it works, then that's what we'll keep. And then she can use, if she's not using one of the planters, she can use it as a table, you know, in the meantime. So that's the plan there. This side too, we did a little smaller rocks here in the front, so there's a little bit of a border there. And all I gotta do is spray this so that that grass doesn't grow into the rocks. But it's getting late in the year, so I'll probably leave it for now. The grass is starting to grow in. Actually, this area here was all mud last year. I got this all growing in, and it's looking better. Each year we get a little bigger area growing in with grass, and it'll soon be better. These stumps I'm not doing anything with. They're too big for my tractor, so they're just gonna sit here. I may cut them off lower and then put minerals in them for the deer. They'll eventually chew away at that stump. So if you like these videos, give me a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.